driving for 20 years in the horse racing. My father, I'm a second generation driver. My father used to drive before he passed away. I started with my father and my uncles. All them was in the horse business. And I used to follow my father everywhere he used to go. And then it kind of stuck to me to train and drive horses. I owned my first horse with my father at the age of 18. Then I bought a 2-year-old trotting filly. My father passed away when she was being broke. So I started training her myself and driving myself.
Been in harness racing all my life. I was born about a mile from the racetrack in Vermont. So my dad's a horseman. Well, my dad was a horseman, my brother was a horseman. Might as well say I'm a third generation horseman. So.
Number 3 is Cellrider, owned by Talanico and Gummerson and driven by James O'Farrell.
My name is James O'Farrell, brother to Julia O'Farrell. I'm a amateur driver. Also, I have a P license, which means I can drive in certain professional races, but the major tracks I'm not allowed to drive until I get my A license. The A license means you can drive at any track in the country. And all the other drivers in the race, they all are A drivers. I've been in this event, I may have a total of 5, maybe four races, 4 years. You know. And it's you know, I'm lucky to get into the race because I'm not like, I don't do it every day, as a living like the other drivers. I mean, it's their profession. I mean, they're trainers, and also the winner of the race, he's a catch driver. I mean, he does it. They all do it for a living. It started being interested in the thoroughbreds. Those are the runners, the horses with the jockeys. And at one point, I wanted to get hands-on. I wanted to get involved, doing everything with horses. But as you know, I'm 6'4", over 200 pounds, so I cannot be a jockey. So I was reading a magazine one day, and it was talking about harness racing and the drivers in the races. And I noticed like a lot of the drivers are like they're not like jockeys, small guys, they're average guys. Some of them weigh anywhere from 150 to almost 200 pounds. So that, to me, was a door opener, that I can get involved in it.
I got a glimpse of harness racing in 1997 in Australia. And then when I settled here, I went to a college up in central New York that actually has a harness racing curriculum at Monticello State College. And from there, I wanted to train and drive, and that opened an avenue for me to start training and driving and competing with some of the best. They told me, well, listen, this is a white sport. You're in a white neighborhood in New York. I think there's only 2 black drivers up there now. There's me and a gentleman in Buffalo. So it's, to me, I'm like the frontiersman, but just a black one. And if me being up there helps break some of the grounds for other guys behind me, even my kids, then I'm even more happy about it.
The second leading trainer at Freehold last year, Dennis Watson, will drive. And Dennis won this event in 2008.
So I was born in a women's institution in a prison, so I stayed there and I come out of there, but my journey was to find my family, find my mother. I was there for 12 months. And 12 months I went to a foster home, which was right on a farm, not far from a harness track, around the corner from my house. So I spent a lot of time going down there around those harness horses until one day I decided to become a harness horse driver. Not far from where I was living at, they had a harness horse track. So I figured if I get into the harness horse, somebody might recognize me and I could find my family. So for 30 years I was trying to find my mother, so I got in harness racing, and I did get connected with my mother through harness racing because some of my family members that used to come to the track got me hooked up with my last name with their last name, and we did some research, and that's how I got connected with my family in harness racing. Back in 1970 I got my license to drive horses in 1970, and I started out with Amish horses, racing Amish horses that were on their way to the killers, and I took them off the killer truck and trained them and worked them and put them back into racing. And now I have 15 stable horses of my own, 15 barn horses of my own, and right now I had a good year. I'm the second leading trainer at Monticello Raceway, so I had a very good year this year.